It's a vow, it's a promise you have made. And if we expect God to fulfill his promises to us, if we expect that when God says that I will surely bless you, we expect him or reassure that he is going to bless us indeed. So why are we making vows to God? And when we make our vows to God, we get to a point where like, I was not thinking when I made that vow. I was Guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Even you here, hi, my name is Jeka Ranta and welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking to this video. I hope that you get to learn something, and I hope that all of you had a wonderful week. And if the week was not wonderful, remember to thank God for what he has done in your life. This is something I do apply in my life personally, so I'm not telling you something that I don't do. So for instance, this week was not so wonderful, but I am grateful for what he has done. I am grateful for life. I'm grateful for a healthy family. I'm grateful for a healthy body. I'm grateful for my friends. I'm grateful about so many things. So when I thank God for these things that he has done for me, I am able to trust in him that even the things that didn't go well in my week, or even if my week was not so well, I am sure and I'm trusting and I have faith that the next week will be a better week because he has given me great weeks there before. So you can also do that. And if a week was wonderful, also thank God for giving you a wonderful week, because it's not everyone who had such a smooth week. And also thank him for all the things that he has also done. So in any situation, be grateful to God. So today I'll be sharing with you about making vows to God, and I'll share with you what to do, what not to do, the things that you should consider in making our vows to God, and a little bit more on that. So now let's get into the video. Okay, so I am going to start with a story from the Bible in Judges chapter 11. I'm just going to give an overview so you can go ahead and read it. It's a really amazing story. So here goes the story. So there's this man, he is called Jephthah. He was a warrior and he was about to go to war against the Ammonites. And before he went to war, he made a prayer to God. I think that's a really great thing that he did. So he made a prayer and he said that, "Dear Lord, if you give the Ammonites into my hands and I come out victorious, or I come out in triumph, whatever meets me at my door, I will give it to you as a burnt offering." So that's a really strong promise he made to God. That's a really strong vow that he made to God. And God made him victorious. He is a faithful God. So what we ask, he gives unto us. So now it was his part that now that God has done to him what he said, then he's supposed to do the other part, sacrifice whatever meets him at his door. So when he goes back home, he is very happy. And when he goes home, guess who meets him at his door? His daughter. He was his only child actually. So the daughter meets him at his door and she is very happy. She is playing the tambourine and she is excited that the father has come home victorious and all that. But the father is so sad because he knows that now he has to sacrifice his only daughter, his only child. And it's a sad moment for them because they have to lose a child and all that. So the daughter is also very sad. She goes to the desert and she mourns that she's not going to go to have a husband, she'll never get to get married and all that. They don't go on with how he sacrificed their daughter, but he definitely did that. So this story taught me so much about making vows to God, and it's on when we are making our vows to God, we should be very, very careful. And before I continue, I'm going to read a verse in Deuteronomy so that you can get to know more about making vows and see what the Bible actually says about making our vows or our promises to God. Okay, so Deuteronomy chapter 23, verses 21 to 23, it says that if you make a vow to you, the Lord your God, do not be slow to pay it, for the Lord your God will certainly demand it of you, and you will be guilty of sin. But if you refrain from making a vow, you will not be guilty. Whatever your lips utter, you must be sure to do, because you made your vow freely to the Lord your God with your own mouth. So those are very powerful and strong statements. So this is Moses giving a speech to the Israelites before they go to Canaan and they cross the Jordan and all that. So he tells them about making vows to God. And this is something that we actually do a lot. Well, I personally know that I do this a lot. So for instance, I am praying, and when I pray, I'm like, "Dear Lord, may you be with me." And when you actually do this, I will not forget to give you all the glory. I will not forget to do this. Or at times you are praying for something. So I might be praying for maybe a job, and and I'm like, dear Lord, if you give me this job, I will surely give you like 10% of this, or I'll definitely do this in return if you do this for me. So we make those vows or those promises. And another person that you can also see very clearly making a prayer to God is Hannah. So Hannah did not have a child, as we know in according to First Samuel. And when she is praying, she makes a prayer to God and says that if you give me a son, I will return the son to you, like he will serve you forever and all that. So after she did that, then she had to actually follow through, because after Samuel was born and he was big enough, he was being weaned, she takes him back to the church and he becomes a prophet and all that. So these promises that we do make to God, we make them at times not thinking about the consequences. So for instance, the story I gave about Jephthah, um when he made a prayer saying that whatever will meet him at his door, he will give as a burnt offering. I'm pretty sure he didn't think that the daughter was going to meet him. I don't know. I don't think he had that consideration or had that in his mind. But this is what we actually do. And this is what Moses wants us about. He says that do not make a promise or a vow to God that you're not going to fulfill. Because if you do not fulfill that, it is considered as if you're committing a sin. You're guilty of sin because you made a vow freely with your mouth. You made a vow on your own. No one told you that you have to say this to God. You don't have to. No one tells you that you have to complete your prayer with God. If you do this for me, I will do this for you. So this is something that has been really teaching me a lot in my prayer, in things that I do utter to God. I just don't say anything. If I'm praying, I am praying, and I'm saying things that I am sure I am going to do. So this is something I wanted to share with you. And I have a few guidelines or a few points that I did note down. And one is that we make our vows freely. So no one pushes us into making a vow. No one pushes us into making a promise. No one tells us, as I had said, that when you do this, you have to say this to God, because we say it with our mouth. No one has opened our mouth and made us proclaim something. The second thing is that when you make our vows, you have to fulfill them. That is in accordance to Deuteronomy, as you read, because it's a vow, it's a promise you have made. And if we expect God to fulfill his promises to us, if we expect that when God says that I will surely bless you, we expect him or we are sure that he is going to bless us indeed. So why are we making vows to God? And when we make our vows to God, we get to a point where like, I was not thinking when I made that vow. I was not sure. That was what Jephthah would have said. That I didn't know that my daughter would have met me at my door. I was not thinking of maybe the wife was the one to meet him at his door and all that. So we should be there to fulfill them, because when we do make our vows, you can say that it was a mistake. And this is something according to Ecclesiastes chapter 5. I'm going to read it. It says that, okay, so chapter 4, but chapter 5 from verses 4 to 7, it says that when you make a vow to God, do not delay in fulfilling it. He has no pleasure in fools. Fulfill your vow. So this is like what we read in Deuteronomy, and it continues to say that it is better not to vow than to make a vow and not fulfill it. Do not let your mouth lead you into sin, and do not protest the temple messenger by saying, my vow was a mistake. Why should God be angry at you, at what you say, and destroy the work of your hands? Much dreaming and many words are meaningless. Therefore stand in awe to God. So Ecclesiastes, Solomon continues to tell us that do not make a vow and not fulfill it. This is something that is being backed up from what is said in Deuteronomy. And he says that why will God be angry at you because of a vow that you made with your own mouth freely, and destroy all the things that you worked hard for just because of one thing that you said? Because, for instance, if you make a vow and you say something that is too big and you can't fulfill that, then God will be angry at you. And he says that you cannot say that it was a mistake, I made this vow when it was a mistake and I didn't know that this would happen. It's better if we just don't say anything. So this is something I've been learning, and I just wanted to share with you that in making our vows, it's better if we don't make these vows, or we say things that we are really sure we are going to fulfill, because God is going to do his part. God is going to do what we ask him to do. So now, are we going to do what he is we have said we are going to do? That's the big question. So that's it for this video. I hope that you learned something and you get to be very careful in making your vows to God, in the prayers that you make or the promises that you do make to God. Be very careful and say things that you know you are going to actually do them. So thank you so much for watching. Remember that God loves you. His love is unconditional. No matter what you do, he will always love you. I will see you in my next video. Bye.